Snikt.
Snikt. Got that hard the sound.
A modern podcast where Chris and Mike talk about TV, movies, superheroes, and everything in between. It's time for Superhero Slate.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes, so let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris Dillard.
And my name's Mike Royer.
And this week, Logan snicks his way into theaters. Stick. The Inhuman Royal Family is officially cast. And
yes, finally. All the pieces together.
The Alien movies look scary again. Well, didn't see that one coming. And more.
And more. It was a busy movie watching week for us because we have a Spoilercast on the deck for this week. But also, you just had a generally busy weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. It has been a hell of a week in general, but yesterday was the Louisville Arcade Expo, and I went there and represented, I think, 6 different organizations. Proudly wearing my Superhero Slate shirt, though, so we gotta give that out. And one of the highlights of it is the production company I work with, Pixel Brain Productions, hosts the Smash Brothers 64 tournament there. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the biggest, like, so many people line up for this thing and play, and it's only on the 64s. And this year, Comic UI, my other project in Superhero Slate, sponsored the top 2 prizes, so that was really cool. And you get their choice of prizes if you win. So number 1 took the Comic UI prize, which was a Kindle Fire tablet, which I thought was pretty cool. And the second place took home the Superhero Slate prize, which was a Bluetooth NES-inspired speaker, which I thought was double cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I actually need one of those because I don't know if anybody else uses this trick where you kind of set your phone inside of like a mug or a cup at home and it kind of amplifies and it acts like a speaker. Yeah, I could probably use one of those. So who was our lucky winner that doesn't have to use a mug in their kitchen anymore while they're doing dishes?
Alan took it home. He was a winner a couple years ago, so congratulations, Alan. I'll be posting a picture on our Facebook page either later today or tomorrow with him. So I got my picture with him. Make sure.
Well, congratulations, reigning champ, Alan.
Yes. Well, second place, but yes.
Oh, he's a reigning champ in my heart.
He is. He definitely is. He played his heart out, and it worked out perfectly to where there were 4 people in the final match. Last year we only had 1v1. So this year it was 4v free-for-all, and that was awesome. Really cool to watch. And I filmed it in a full 360-degree format, Mike, so when I put that video up, I'll share it to our Facebook page as well.
Oh, nice.
So people can actually watch the game and the players while it was going down.
That's sweet.
And see the game-winning kill, if you will. So that was all day. That was literally 14 hours of floor time yesterday, Mike, working, handing out our brand new business cards. I just got in for us with that shiny metallic color to them. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they're nice. They look pretty slick, and I've only seen them in boomerang form, if you will.
Yeah, it's definitely. They're so thick and shiny, and they're great. And I've written stuff on the back of them already, Mike. So that's fun. But what did you do? You said you were watching a movie right before this happened. What movie? I didn't know this.
I was being a good a podcast co-host and doing some Taika Waititi research, and I watched What We Do in the Shadows just before I hopped on this mic with you. If anyone out there has Amazon Prime, it actually just got added to I guess free streaming. I don't really know exactly what they call it on Amazon Prime.
I think it's like Prime Video.
Yeah, Prime Video. So that was just added to Prime, so you can watch that for free if you're a Prime member. And it was pleasantly fun. It's actually a pretty short movie. Like I think it's like an hour and 24 minutes. So if you kind of just like cut off like the opening credits crawl and like the ending credits, like you're only watching it for like an hour and 20 minutes. So like it's like there's no like downtime or anything like that. It's just like a solid like story beginning to end. and it was really funny. So it'll be. I don't know if Taika Waititi has directorial credits for like kind of more traditional style movies, because this one's filmed like a documentary would be, but obviously fake documentary because vampires aren't real, Chris. But it'll be kind of cool to see how he transitions into like a big budget live action Thor movie. But I'm looking forward to it because there's some cool stuff in here, and we all know our favorite little nuggets of the Marvel movies are the comedy moments. So hopefully we'll be getting some of that with Taika. But yeah, it was a good movie, so I suggest it. If you got Amazon Prime on dock, go ahead and give that a watch. What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes, definitely very good. My favorite, again, are the werewolves in this as well, not swearwolves. So definitely enjoyed that group when they pop up there. And his next movie after that was A Hunt for the Wilder People, which is more traditional film. I don't know where that is. I don't remember how I got a chance to watch it, but it's another. I think. I don't think it's the best movie, but I think it's a good movie. So I think that's that's fun. It's good to know.
We'll hope that Thor Ragnarok is his best movie then.
Yes. Before we jump into our news here, I do have one more bit of information. I ended up trading some stuff around and ended up with a PlayStation 4 today, Mike.
Okay. How do you just like trade stuff around? Did you like start with a paperclip and like gradually build your way up to a new video game console?
Spring cleaning, I ended up with a bunch of stuff I needed to get rid of, and luckily the right person at the right time wanted it and all they wanted to give me was a PlayStation 4. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna move a PlayStation 4 quicker than this if I needed to. So I have a PlayStation 4 with some Call of Duty games, which I don't really care for. It's not my thing. So if anyone has any PlayStation 4 game suggestions, let me know, because otherwise I have no idea what to do with it.
Well, if the hype the last couple days is true, it sounds like you're going to need to trade that new PlayStation for a Nintendo Switch and start playing the new Zelda game, because I'm sure it's a bit of hyperbole on this person's part, but I've literally seen quotes out there where they say it is the best video game ever made. So not only are they saying, best Zelda game ever, best Nintendo game ever, but some people out there are saying literally best game ever made. So who knows? But I'm sure it's surrounded with some hype. But if anybody out there is playing a Breath of the Wild, let us know if it's holding up. I really want to know.
Well, the funny thing is, I have a Wii U. So
you could actually play it on that.
I could play it, and it's been developed longer on it, so I think it's actually to me, and talking with someone, the table next to us is very, very video game based people, because I was at the Arcade Expo. Actually think the Wii U version looks better than the Switch version. So I've heard that the Switch is a great handheld, but just an okay console.
Well, what are you waiting for? You need to not go to any conventions next week and just go ahead and find Breath of the Wild, because I'm pretty sure you can probably find it on Wii U a lot easier than Switch.
I'm going to make a confession here. I've not played a Zelda game since the second one for regular Nintendo.
I've heard that. Well, the one before this, what was it? A Skyward Sword. I heard that one wasn't that great. So sounds like you dodged the bullet there at least.
I skipped the 64 ones, Mike. I haven't told a lot of people this because you get shamed, Game of Thrones style, ringing a bell at you, yelling shame while they march you naked down a street kind of thing.
I've heard they made some pretty cool updates to the gameplay for this new one, so I think it's probably a good entry point for you. So, and I think that would be a good perspective. Somebody who's never really played any of the basically 3D versions of the game can go ahead and jump in there with this brand new game and see if it holds up. Because a lot of people out there are big Zelda fanboys, and like I said, they're caught up on the hype train. But I think maybe you could come at it from a more neutral perspective.
Yeah, I might do that and just not get a PlayStation game instead. Yeah. However, I do have to point out that there is a remastered Crash Bandicoot trilogy coming, re-releasing. Crash Bandicoot, and I don't know if you've ever played any Crash Bandicoot games.
I've played a little.
I don't know what a Bandicoot is, but I definitely know he has problems with some mad scientist. So I'm looking forward to that down the road. But it was neither here nor there. This isn't a video game podcast. Even though I was at an arcade game expo all weekend, I will have to tell you the coolest thing I did see there though was someone brought in their arcade sitting Jurassic Park. Game, and it's free play. So it's actually my friend John, his brother. He brought it in, fixed it up, and is selling it. So he sold it this weekend there. But that line was probably 25 people deep at any given second.
Wow.
So definitely hyped to see all that. Oh, duh! And the best thing, the table next to me had the original Super Nintendo PlayStation prototype in working condition.
Wow!
I think he said it's the only one in existence that works, and he was playing games on it and demoing it. People were getting their picture with this machine. It's so rare. I thought it was really cool to see something like that.
I mean, history. You were probably at one of the few places where that thing would like show up. Like you got to be at like a video game place, where you can actually see that kind of stuff. So that's cool, man.
Yeah, it's cool. And I also thought it's funny. I was 2 days away from owning all the current generation consoles. When I got my PlayStation 4. So I missed it by a weekend. Oh, well. Either way, now, some people are saying that the Breath of the Wild is the best video game. I've heard that this movie we're about to talk about, Logan, they say it's the best X-Men movie around, Mike.
Oh, okay.
And I don't agree with that statement.
Oh, so, okay.
We have not talked about this at all. Like, complete radio silence on Logan. But my thoughts are, it is, out of 10 X-Men movies, it is maybe 6 or 7 on that list.
6 or 7? Wow, you're putting it down that low on the list. Well, I guess just before we get into this, we'll go ahead and let everybody know. We're just going to give you guys our initial thoughts. No spoilers, of course. No. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, don't worry. But stay subscribed to the Superhero Slate podcast, and you'll see our spoiler cast for Logan pop up in your feed. So now that we got that out of the way, Chris, I'm surprised that you're putting it that low on the list. It sounds like... okay, just let me know. Let me know.
Well, I mean, they're out of 10 movies. I don't think 6 or 7 is very low. They've had a lot of chances to do that. There's a lot of bad ones on the bottom of that list. Like, you got to think The Last Stand, Origins, Apocalypse, even. There are a bunch of bad movies on the bottom. I think Logan is a good movie. However, I don't think it's the best movie, and a lot of people are going in with like, oh, this is the last one. We have to say it's the best kind of mentality, and not really seeing the movie for what it is. So I think it's 6 or 7. I just don't think it's the best X-Men, or I don't even think it's the best Wolverine movie. There we go. I said it.
Wow. I mean, I don't really know where I would put it in the rankings, but I think it floats closer to the top for me, just because I have a lower opinion on X-Men First Class than you do. So, I mean, it's just been such a long time since I've seen those original first 2 X-Men movie. I just don't really know if they've technically held up, because I know they've done so much for basically the video game, not the video game, for the superhero kind of Hollywood movie industry, because they've had that, they had that big box office return that kind of made this a thing. So I probably need to go back and watch those before I start ranking them. But I thought Logan was a perfectly adequate movie. I thought it was really fun. It was really brutal. I loved finally seeing Logan rated R, because it's kind of like the Wolverine we've always wanted to see. I don't want to get into spoilers, but the writers, directors, producers, I'm sure all of the people that had their hands in this movie over the years and had ideas of what they could do. They showed a lot of restraint in the movie. There's a lot of ways that they could have just thrown lots of things into this movie, or maybe set it up for more movies into the future. I mean, obviously we knew this was Hugh Jackman's last play as Wolverine, but they could have dovetailed this into other movies, and they decided, no, we're going to make this a standalone movie, and I really appreciate that. And about halfway through the movie, I started to realize that this movie kind of has an interesting way that they're kind of segmenting the stories in the movie. It kind of feels like I'm almost watching like a trade paperback turned into a movie, which is kind of cool, because that's basically what Old Man Logan was originally. It's just kind of this isolated story in this trade paperback form. So like, something would happen in the movie, and I would be like, oh wow, that was an awesome ending to that issue of that comic book that they just turned into a scene or something like that. So it was kind of cool seeing the movie segmented in my brain as like a comic book coming to life. So I really liked that. There was a couple things in the movie that I wish they would have done maybe a little differently, but overall I thought this was a really awesome, I guess you can't really call it maybe X-Men movie, because it's not really X-Men. They kind of go into the movie why it literally couldn't be an X-Men movie anymore. But I thought it was the best Wolverine movie out there for sure. So I would definitely give it 2 thumbs up. There's no reason people shouldn't see the movie. It's really, really awesome. And I'm really looking forward to the spoiler cast because not only does this movie show a lot of restraint, it has a lot of subtlety too, which kind of leaves a lot of stuff open to interpretation. And I'm gonna throw some hypotheses on you in the spoiler cast.
Oh, goody. I look forward to those, as always. I don't think anyone should not see it. I mean, don't get me wrong when I say it's 6 or 7. There are a lot of movies. It is a competent film. It's above average on my rating system, but I don't think, again, this is not the end-all, be-all comic book movie, superhero movie, or X-Men movie. So, at least on my point of view, and that's all I keep hearing is, this is it. This is the new trend of comic book movies. No, it shouldn't be.
No, I don't agree with that at all. I think I think it's a successful movie because it kind of did its own thing. The only thing that this movie has in common with Deadpool is that they're both rated R. The great thing about both of these movies is they take 2 drastically different tones. And I have a feeling the movies will kind of come in comparison just a little bit because they both came out within a year of each other, right around the same time, both rated R, both from Fox, both in the X-Men universe. So, Deadpool is just like a hilarious movie, driven by Ryan Reynolds. And Logan is just like a brutal, deep, emotional movie driven by Hugh Jackman. So they're just totally different. And if there's any trend we get out of this, it doesn't necessarily need to be the rated R trend or the violence trend or the swearing trend or brief bits of nudity trend. I hope it's just that, going forward, we just make sure that our superhero movies are just very different and they just make sure they have a story to tell. Because I have to say, it was refreshing to watch, a larger budget superhero movie that just didn't kind of just leave you wanting more, expecting more. What are we going to see in the sequel? There's not any of that. We had an isolated story, and that was really refreshing. But even that being said,
you don't think there'll be a sequel? Okay, well, we'll talk about that in the spoiler cast.
All right, let's talk about it, man.
Yeah. So, but you mentioned something that last year was Deadpool. That was the R-rated superhero movie from Fox, right? Uh-huh. And I would consider this a spoiler. However, Ryan Reynolds has officially released a Deadpool 2 teaser that debuted with the movie. And
yeah, it was. Okay, so the only reason I'm kind of coming in with questions here is it's kind of hard to say if it's a teaser in the sense of what we always know a teaser is. The way it's set up, this teaser is directly attached to the front of this movie. I don't think there's any movie theater out there that you could go to that wouldn't, play this trailer, I guess is what I'm saying. Just because I know sometimes when I go to my specific movie theater, I don't get all the trailers all the time. I didn't get to see the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer, the new one that we're going to be talking about in a little bit, in front of my movie, just because all theaters are different. But I think this one is hard-coded, hard-edited into the beginning of this film. So
this is that 3 extra minutes we talked about last week being added to the movie, and instead of a post-credit scene, I guess it's a pre-movie scene.
Yeah, it's it's kind of like a, maybe, I don't know if this has been around before, but it's kind of instead of Pixar having their little animated shorts ahead of time, we just get a little bit of a Deadpool kind of bringing us into the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I guess Days of Future Past kind of did a hard-coded trailer with Spider-Man in its trailer, or in its credit scene. In the middle, I think, of Days of Future Past credits, they added a Spider-Man's trailer. Mm-hmm. For some reason, I don't remember why. It was really, really stupid at the time. Really dumb. But yeah, so instead we got a Deadpool 2 teaser, and just saying, no, hey, I think it was more of for the common moviegoer, not us who are so in this that we're just so jaded from everything, really. That, hey, we know you liked Deadpool last year. Deadpool 2 is still coming. Don't panic, average moviegoer kind of deal.
Yeah. It was a really fun moment, actually, because I talk about this all the time on this show when we're talking about normal Marvel movies, is that I'm not surprised in those movies anymore. There's nothing really popping up out of nowhere that we haven't known about weeks ahead of time, or was in a teaser trailer, or a TV spot or something, or it's leaked somewhere. But this was fun because the trailers end, the lights go down, the movie starts playing, and you see this character walking down the street in a hoodie, and you're just oh, what is this? We're kind of seeing this dystopian kind of city street, It's kind of like all messy and stuff. Like, oh, is this kind of like the Logan universe that they're introducing us to? And then it starts, panning around the hoodie. It's like, oh, are we about to see Hugh Jackman here or something? And then you see Deadpool's fucked up face, and you're just like, whoa, what am I even watching right now? Like, is Deadpool gonna be in this movie? And then once you get into it, you realize, oh, this is just for fun. But like, what a great thing just to add to the front of the movie. I thought it was wonderful.
It is, and I mean, once he was listening to Wham in his headphones, and once the Wham came on, and then you see his face, I'm like, oh, I know what's going on here. And then the rest of it parodies Superman like so hard, I don't know how they got away with it. Mostly because there's a guy getting mugged in the street corner, so he runs into a phone booth, and hastily is not the word I would use, gets into the Deadpool costume while the Superman theme song is playing in the background the whole time.
Yeah, and I would recommend that you guys out there go check out our show notes on our website, because we have the link to, I guess, the quote-unquote official release of the teaser that includes some other things that you didn't see in the theater. So I would recommend go looking at that, because I guess you said that there's a phone call he makes in the phone booth, and I believe Stan Lee, doesn't he make a cameo in the longer teaser version? Yeah,
Stan Lee's in there because he was cut from the main one. I don't know, I couldn't pick apart the scenes exactly, but I'm like, this is different, and it felt different than the one. So our link has the official quote unquote extended version of this. And definitely, it's very extended. I don't think there's more ass cheeks on the glass windows, but definitely some good stuff going on in this.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show you, this teaser in general, adding it to the front of Logan, just how important Deadpool is to Fox right now. Like, I'm just really trying to imagine what kind of shape Fox would be in if they never made this Deadpool movie. I mean, think about it. Think of just Apocalypse being the last thing that Fox made before Logan. Like, what a bad taste in your mouth before you go see that, and I feel like Logan could have ended up being a different movie if they kind of didn't have Deadpool to rest on. I know we're going to talk about if we think there's going to be maybe a sequel in the future for the Logan movie, but I feel like it would have leaned really heavily on picking up the story at the end of Logan if Deadpool didn't exist. So I think they're just kind of reminding their audience, hey, we all know you guys freaking love Deadpool because we all saw the box office numbers. So just hold in tight, just one more year.
Yeah, and also, this is not a teaser you could put before any movie. This was obviously a Red Band specific, teaser / opening credit scene, whatever you want to call it. I don't know, but the language, the ass cheeks against the pressed glass, the guy getting shot and him laying in the blood, it's very, you had to put this in an R movie, and they knew we're going to tie it to Wolverine and do our thing. So
now, remind me just before we go on to our next topic here, who was the Summers character that was written onto the side of the phone booth? It was it wasn't Scott Summers. It was like one of the others.
Nathaniel.
Yeah, so
that's Cable.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be pretty cool to see that Cable's going to be obviously a big part of the movie if they're kind of hyping him up on the side of a phone booth,
Yeah, I really can't wait to get the casting announcement for that. We've talked about it every week, and there's always a new name, and I think the last time we talked, it was Pierce Brosnan was up for it, and then the newest thing this week is that Carhorn is up for the role of Deadpool. They're having a yard sale in my neighbor's place, and who knows what they've done. But the sheriff from Stranger Things
that could be interesting. That's
as Cable.
That's always what happens when you have these breakout series on television. You kind of capitalize on their momentum and you throw them into movies. So that could be cool too. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm really curious what they would do with Pierce Brosnan then. Maybe he's the bad guy. Who knows?
Yeah, no clue. But it's definitely Deadpool 2 is on its way, and once we get some casting for it, I'm really excited to hear more on that. So we'll definitely cover that. But the last thing in the mutant frontier in Fox is the X-Men TV series has made some important casting decisions this week with actor Sean Teale, who I don't know who it is, as a New Mutant, which called Eclipse, who's a brand new character.
Oh, okay.
This is only interesting because Fox does not have the ability to create New Mutants without Marvel's approval. Much like Negasonic Teenage Warhead had brand new powers, so they had to run it by Marvel. So they're obviously working very closely with Marvel to get the things that they need to get for these shows. So the only reason I put that in there is not because of the actor, but mostly because the implications of this. They can add kind of whoever they want now because this is a Marvel/Fox produced thing. So what's Marvel getting out of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's still hard for me to get excited for an X-Men series. Like, just because I saw an awesome Logan movie made by Fox, I just feel like it was definitely made with maybe not a lot of their executives in hand, just because a lot what happened in the movie. So it's just hard for me to trust them right now. So I know it seems Legion's doing pretty well, so hopefully maybe X-Men will be able to capitalize on the success. But I don't know. It's like, what do I want? Do I want awesome X-Men movies, or do I want an awesome X-Men TV series? And no one can keep track of the continuity anymore, and it's like, I don't know, well, man. We're just gonna have to wait and see.
Fox has thrown continuity out the window since I think probably X3. But it's not that. It's just, I mean, it's not just a Fox series. They have to run everything through Marvel, and as we see, Marvel television has definitely improved in quality. Legion is one of their products. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is only getting better, I think, over time. It's not the same show it was the first year they ran around. So I think there's a little more faith behind it, having some good teams, and we'll definitely see. Another a female lead was cast by the actress Amy Acker. I think she was an Angel, but she played Coulson's love interest in S.H.I.E.L.D. as well. So there's a little bit of, I guess, cross-pollination. Is that the right word I'm looking here?
Yeah, that definitely seems to be stuff that...
Marvel likes her. Marvel likes her, apparently. So there we go. And lastly, actress Emma Dumont, I don't know who that is either, but is cast in the role of Polaris. Do you know who Polaris is off the top of your head?
No, not off the top of my head. I couldn't tell you.
Did you look it up?
No, I couldn't tell you.
Polaris is the daughter of Magneto, who controls magnetism in the comic books.
Well, we're doing the son of Xavier in Legion, so I guess maybe bring in the daughter.
Yeah, so they did not mention Magneto specifically, except they did say that she has the powers of magnetism as well. So it may be a quote alluded to, perhaps, but they're doing the son of Magneto kind of deal with Quicksilver in the movies. So I don't think they'll go that far, but she does have the same powers, and something, something I guess people will be familiar with as they kind of come into that movie or this TV series, I guess. So definitely some news coming up on the X-Men series. I don't know if it's gonna be on FX, Fox, whatever, but I mean, it'll be another year, or it probably at best fall before we see it. So I'm not gonna get too excited just yet for that.
As soon as we know, you'll know.
As soon as I know, I'll tell you, Mike, and then and then you'll tell everybody else. Don't watch it, because that's what you do on this stuff.
Okay.
All right. But Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Mike mentioned earlier, got a new trailer this week. I called it. I just want to say, first time I predicted a trailer successfully on this show. And I did not get to see this trailer before Logan either. I was really excited to watch this in theaters, and I did not get to see it in there. Mike, did you? You said
no,
you
I didn't. I wish I did. I was looking forward to it. I got a weird art house movie trailer just before Logan started, which was kind of a bummer. So
I got the old Guardians trailer, which was probably even more annoying in the long run. I'm like, no, this is not the new one. I know the new one. This is not it. So I got to see the old one. But I did not get to see this. I guess the biggest reveal here is our first official look at Ego, Kurt Russell, and saying, that to Star-Lord, Peter, that he is his dad. So I think that's the biggest reveal out of this. Everything else just shows a lot of crazy action stuff going on.
Yeah, I would say for sure this is probably the last trailer you should be watching before the movie comes out, and it probably is going to be the last trailer before the movie comes out. We'll probably get maybe TV spots and stuff like that.
I believe there will be one more ticket announcement trailer.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's possible, but I think this is going to be the last one I'm going to watch. I think overall, so this is kind of a weird thing that's never happened to me before when I've kind of seen this many CG visuals before in a movie. So most of the time, if this wasn't Guardians of the Galaxy, like if this was like a brand new movie or something like that, and I just saw all of this CG thrown at me, I would just be like, what am I watching here? This is like, I would be using the quote-unquote term that everyone else uses, a CG fest, and I think it would just annoy me. But like for some reason, just in this universe, the way they've set up these characters and the way they set up the Guardians of the Galaxy universe, it just feels like really fun. It almost feels like I'm watching like the highest end cartoon ever made on the planet. You know, like you get that weird squid creature coming out of the portal, but then you see all these like weird kind of galaxy vistas and all these colorful, interesting places. Like, the first Guardians was compared a lot to kind of like the feel of Star Wars, but it never felt quite accurate because Star Wars kind of felt and looked a little bit more desolate and dark. Everything here is just bright and popping and just visually just crazy. So it's kind of weird. It's almost like James Gunn has just doubled down and it worked, which is really surprising. So I feel like maybe we finally got it in this trailer because maybe these visual effects were finally finished rendering, so they could actually cut it into a trailer. But I mean, I was impressed. Like I never thought I could see that much CG and be impressed. So I mean, I'm really looking forward to the movie after seeing this.
Mm-hmm, I definitely think so. I think I noticed CG the most whenever Rocket landed, and like his gun kind of like transformed in his hands, and I'm like, fuck yeah, go Rocket! Like that was really cool. He had a bunch of good scenes, like the winking thing at the beginning. Just the humor's there, the action's there, the color's there. I think the golden planet at the end that you see kind of Star-Lord and Gamora on there at the end is Ego. So we'll figure that out kind of maybe as we go. But other than that, Guardians, is that the next movie, Mike? Is that our next movie?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Guardians, and then it's going to be Spider-Man, and then I think Ragnarok. No,
Wonder Woman.
Man, Chris, how on earth could anyone keep track of all of these dates?
I don't know. If only there was a page, like maybe on the superheroslate.com website that had all these release dates in order for them.
Yeah, the upcoming release page.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. This is going to be a really crazy movie. I think maybe in that last trailer that you're theorizing, we're probably going to see maybe the fully fleshed out villain of the movie. I don't think we've seen the villain in the forefront quite yet. So hopefully I can have the self-control to skip the next trailer. But I think this is definitely enough to sell me.
Yeah, I'm really excited to watch it. I could go in blind now and feel really happy. But by God, I gotta know when tickets go on sale, Mike. I gotta get my tickets. That's for sure. But the Guardians are going to show up again next year, have no fear, in Avengers Infinity War. And I believe it was someone talking about movies being made. I think the co-founder of Uber owns Pinewood Studios, or half of Pinewood Studios in Atlanta, and said that right now they're filming a $1 billion movie there. Or, $1 billion movie, or 1 million? No, it'd be billion, wouldn't it? $1 billion movie. I put that in wrong. Now, $1 billion movie there, and we all know what that is. Avengers Infinity War.
That little indie movie being made for $1 million called Avengers.
I wonder what that could be. So yeah, that's definitely in there. So I mean, we have $1 billion. So that's $500,000 each. I don't know if that includes marketing or advertising. Like it's so hard to say that when they say, well, this movie is going to cost $1 billion.
Yeah, I don't think they ever include that in it. So I have a feeling, obviously, a lot of that money probably goes to just paying these actors to be in the movie. I mean, there are a lot of tenured Marvel personalities in this that really need to be paid. Maybe they're paying a lot of money to people making surprise entrances, because we all know that's what I want to see. I want to be surprised in this movie. So, man, that's just like so much money, but obviously it's going to be paying off for sure. I mean, this is like 10 years in the making, getting all these characters in this one movie. I mean, This is something that I don't think anybody ever thought would happen, but it's interesting to see that the budget is kind of staying true. I think we reported on this at some point last year, but it was kind of, just rumored out there. So it's kind of crazy that $1 billion being thrown down for 2 movies,
It really is. And the worst part is yeah, it's going to make it back. like you spend $1 billion on 2 movies, each one's going to cross $1 billion easily, hands down. I have no fear that it will make all the money back that it spends and then some.
Yeah, and not to mention all the box sets that they're going to be able to sell for all the phases, all the toys that they're going to sell, just all the merchandise, the clothes, the theme park rides and stuff like that. The inevitable bag of like baby carrots with like Groot's face on it or something being sold. So yeah, there's not a whole lot on the line. I wouldn't be too worried about Disney right now.
Yeah, no, they don't have that money to spend. I mean, I think they had 3 or 4 of the top 5 movies last year. So I don't know. They're really hurting, Mike. Really hurting. And we've reported before that Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange will have a stand-in on set. Well, he will be on set like a lot more than the initial report said. So I don't know why that report came back up, but yeah, people calm down. They're not just gonna like CG his face on some weird dude. So chill. They got this. They got
Good.
This. Did you end up buying Doctor Strange yet on digital?
Not yet, man. I'm sure some people will maybe take some of my street cred away, but I think I spent my money the other weekend on the digital release of Moana because I fucking love that movie, and I don't care what anyone says.
That is a good movie. That is a good movie. Again, just to throw this back, the crab in that who sings the song "Shiny" is Jermaine Clements from Taika Waititi's "What We Do in the Shadows."
Yes.
Just throw it back on there. But Doctor Strange 2, director I believe was Scott Derrickson, the first one, who will probably direct the second one. I mean, he made money, he did well. They'll probably bring him back. He talked about bringing in a couple characters. The first ones are the characters Clea and Nightmare. I did not know this, but Nightmare was originally planned for the first film, being the villain of the first film. But
right.
Kevin Feige was like, look, we can't introduce the dream dimension as like the first thing in this world. So let's reel it on back now and kind of see what's going on with that and see how people react to these things. And I think people got into it pretty easily. So I think they did a good thing. And the other one is Clea is a disciple / lover of Doctor Strange. In the comic books, I don't know how they would bring her in like a love interest, because they definitely had the Claire, it's not Claire Temple, it's the other Claire, the other nurse in that movie, played by Rachel McAdams, is kind of like the love interest. So I don't know if bringing in another one would be ideal or not, but
have you had a chance to rewatch Doctor Strange now that you own the limited edition aluminum bulletproof box, whatever it is?
Oh yeah. The one that's built straight out of actual time stone material. Yeah. I have.
Did the visuals kind of hold up on a smaller screen? I've been waiting to ask someone that.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I actually put the digital code on the iTunes and watched it on the smallest TV I have in the house, in our bedroom, and it looked fine.
Nice, awesome. That's what I like to hear. I need to go back and rewatch that. Of course, like a million other movies out there, but I think it's good for us to kind of revisit these movies every once in a while and see how closely they are to the reviews in the spoiler cast. Because sometimes we get shrouded a little bit by the mystique of seeing the movie opening night.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those rose tinted glasses kind of deals, totally. And I think, I like I never saw Doctor Strange twice in theaters, which is kind of weird for me not to go back and see it again. But I enjoyed it just as much watching it again on home release as I did in the theater. So yeah,
good to hear.
Yeah, great. Had a great time. Good time. Also, another character that was asked is the character of Brother Voodoo. He is, I think, Daniel something. His brother was the original guardian of the temple where Doctor Strange went and got his cloak at, and he was killed. So Brother Voodoo is essentially Daniel Drum is his name, and his brother, I forget, one of them's Daniel Drum. Either way, this is his brother. He has the ability to do voodoo magic and stuff like that. So he's very much a sorcerer like Doctor Strange, but in a different manner, commune with the dead, so on and so forth.
Basically, the takeaway here from the Doctor Strange news is there's lots of characters here that a lot of people aren't familiar of, and well, we're going to get familiar.
Yes, don't expect the same characters to come back for movie 2, or you'll be wrong kind of deal. That's all right, because at the end of the day, Mike, my favorite news of the week here is, of course, Marvel's Inhumans, because not only did we get one person cast this week, they announced the entire cast of Inhumans this week. And the first casting of Black Bolt came out while I was picking up my Black Bolt pop vinyls.
Oh, it was just meant to be.
It was the perfect of days. So we're gonna go through these here, and we're gonna talk about them. So first off, Black Bolt, full name Blackagar Boltagon. If that wasn't created in the 60s, I don't know what was. But the Black Bolt will be played by character Anson Mount from the TV show Hell on Wheels.
Yeah.
I have not seen Hell on Wheels, but I've heard great things about the show.
Don't be shocked. So Hell on Wheels was kind of at its peak during when Breaking Bad was at its peak, literally on the same network. I don't want to say the same night, but I know Hell on Wheels has been moved around what night it could be best effective on. So it was definitely overshadowed by literally the best TV show ever made. So a lot of people haven't had a chance to really jump into it. I'm not all caught up on the series, and I actually think the series has officially wrapped maybe as of last season. So it's definitely an awesome kind of Western movie. It has its highs and its lows, but this Anson Mount guy, I never knew the actor's name, but he's playing the main cowboy in the show, and he is awesome. So I'm really excited to see him cast as Black Bolt, and he's just, he's got a lot of screen presence, which I think what you need basically the king of the Inhumans to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I looked up his pictures and talked to some people, and I've heard he can fluctuate depending on, like, he doesn't care about what he looks like. So as long as he can keep himself, and like look okay without his beard, from what I've seen in the show, I'm fine with it. Like, I think he looks like a king. Like, if you're like, you need to be a king of a race of people who are genetically modified, I'm like, great, he looks like it. So I'm definitely really excited to see more about him and Black Bolt. Next up, I actually picked up a keychain of this character this week, Medusa, being played by actress Serinda Swan, who was actually Zatanna in the Smallville TV show.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how big of a role she played in that series, but I was doing a thing last night where I was showing pictures of these casting announcements to my wife, and I was just like, hey, does this person look familiar? Because I knew she watched Smallville, and she was a big fan of it back when it was on the air, and she was like, oh, she kind of looks familiar. I don't really remember what she's for. So then when I told her Smallville, she was like, oh, okay, yeah, she does kind of look familiar. So I don't know exactly how big of a pull this is for the Inhumans, but I hope she plays a good Medusa.
Yeah, it looks like, lately she's been in a lot of TV shows like that have garnered enough interest to get recurring seasons, but nothing like nothing long term. It looks like here. So, but put some red hair on her, she could probably pull it off. So I'm okay with this as well. I'm not into fan arts or fan depictions of like, this is what they could look like, because you're always wrong. You're always fucking wrong. Stop doing that, people. But I'm totally cool with that. Last week we talked about someone from Lost being cast in the show, and we finally figured out who it was. Actor Ken Leung from Lost and X-Men 3: The Last Stand as Karnak, one of my personal favorite characters. So.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I'm not familiar with Karnak, but when I did look up this actor and see that he was in X-Men: The Last Stand, I was like, oh yeah, he's the dude with all the needles in his face. So, it's kind of funny how all things come back to Marvel. You just swirl around the superhero universe. Don't worry, you'll get picked up by something eventually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He looked like a puffer fish in fucking X3. It was so bad, but he wasn't Lost for 45 episodes, it said. So I never watched Lost. So if I went back and watched it, I'd probably be lost.
Oh God!
Yeah.
Oh God! Okay.
It's been one of those weeks, man. You gotta bear with me a little bit. But he does have some acting credits behind him. There is a Karnak miniseries that just wrapped up last month. It's a 6-issue series, but there are. If anyone wants any Karnak stuff, I have all of it. I love Karnak, so let me know. But I'm okay with this as well. Totally on board with that. The next several casting bits, I actually don't know any of these people off the top of my head, but actress Isabel Cornish from, I believe, the movie Australia Day. I didn't watch it. Will play Crystal. Are you familiar with Crystal?
No, I don't think I'm going to be familiar with any of these people. So I think you just
okay.
Just call them out and see if anything sounds familiar.
Yeah. So okay, Black Bolt is a king, has a power of his voice. His voice is his power. Medusa's hair, she has like prehensile hair, like she can control it to do things. She doesn't turn people to stone. And Karnak was never subjected to the Terrigen Mist. He is just a master of finding the weakness in everything. A Crystal controls the elements, so she has the ability to control the elements. The next actor that comes up here is, I can't say his M.A. Ikwalker?
Sure.
From the movie Concussion, I think that's the Will Smith one about football. He will be playing Gorgon. Gorgon took the Terrigen and like turned like this big beastly horse hoofed kind of dude. He's like he's got super strong legs and hooves and can like create seismic waves with the stomps of his feet. But he like also trains new Inhumans when they get their powers. So he's just a big fighter dude. Lastly, on that front of the Inhuman family is Mike Moe from Empire will be Triton, who is like a fish man.
That'll probably resonate with more people than us, because I know Empire is a hugely popular show right now, just not one that I'm watching. So I'm sure people are happy about that one.
Yeah, he very athletic, lives underwater. He's a very effects-driven character. So definitely that. And lastly, we have the actress Sonia Balmores from the movie Soul Surfer. I don't know what that was. Looked it up, though. Just have it there. She plays Orin, the head of the Royal Guards on Adeline, and she's very, like, I guess, if I were to pick something, we would know Captain Phasma, I guess, of the Royal Guards. So, very no-nonsense kind of deal, so.
All right, cool.
And we have confirmation that Lockjaw will appear. Lockjaw the dog. Are you familiar with Lockjaw at all?
No, I'm not. I mean, this Inhumans world is very much your world.
It very much is. I mean, I have all the books. I think I have all the books in the thing here. But Lockjaw is like the pet of the Inhuman Royal Family, and he's a giant bulldog, and he has the ability to teleport like anywhere like he wants. So he just teleports, and so he can like take people where they need to go, kind of deal. So he has a tuning fork on his head, and it was always a joke with me and my friend Brian. If we ever had like a bulldog we ran into, we'd tape like a regular fork to his head as like a cosplay thing. So yeah, I think that's cool. I'm really okay with this casting. I know it's a lot for anyone new to this to take in. We probably won't have much to cover on this going forward unless they start giving us some more like villains or something like that. But we already have the little douchebag from Game of Thrones as the brother.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I'm waiting for, obviously, is what they're going to look like in costume. Because, I mean, Black Bolt, obviously the most recognizable one out of the bunch is going to be... Is he going to be kind of in black spandex? What's the deal? Are they going to go more of like kind of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. route, where they're kind of more in like black tactical kind of outfits, maybe? That kind of look a little bit more practical. I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see what they look like kind of on a almost, it seems like going to be an upscale ABC budget, at least maybe for the first couple episodes. But I just hope it's good. I just hope it's a really good show. That's all I'm crossing my fingers for.
Yeah, and they did confirm, I believe September 1st, it will be in IMAX. So the first 2 episodes. So with IMAX bankrolling this a little bit, I think production quality will be up, but we do have to wait on the story and the actual stuff. But if I guess the next thing that will give us any hope is Marvel's Iron Fist, since the showrunner from Iron Fist is showrunning Inhumans, and Iron Fist is less than 2 weeks away. So yes, I think we might get it
very close,
very very much so. So we'll have. I guess that's our next thing. Not Guardians, but not Inhumans. Iron Fist. Too many eyes. To me, I also picked up an Iron Fist pop vinyl this week, Mike. So look, I got all my stuff. All my ducks are in a row.
I think if anybody can tell by now, it's that you have had a very long and busy weekend.
Yeah, I'm trying my hardest to get through this so we can get that spoiler cast right after this. So the last things here, we have several bullet points, but they're very quick, so we can rush through not rush through them, but we don't have to talk forever on them. Okay, I'll get through this. Justice League. Well,
trust me, I'm not going to talk much about this next one.
Good. Justice League. We mentioned last week that a Green Lantern would show up in it, and he had a funny sounding name. Well, this name that we have now is, I guess, reported to be in here. It's not very funny sounding, but Abin Sur is rumored to join the film at the end to fight Steppenwolf. Abin Sur is actually the Green Lantern who dies, and his ring goes to Hal Jordan. So, I mean, that's kind of weird just because this Justice League universe is kind of set kind of into the future. So I feel like this guy maybe would have died years ago to kind of create this buddy cop lantern movie that we might be getting in the future. I don't know. We all know how I feel about the Warner Brothers universe right now. Mm-hmm. So any sort of news I get on a Justice League movie, I'm just kind of like, I don't really care yet. And I'm just going to have to wait and see the movie. Yeah, I definitely think so. My theory, again, is that Abin Sur's coming to fight Steppenwolf because Darkseid is behind him. Like, you know, Darkseid's the next big bad, so they don't stop him. They can't stop Darkseid. And then some probably dies in the battle, and then at the end of the movie, like post-credit scene, his ring goes and finds a human to be the host. So who knows?
All right.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I mean, I don't know. I again, if I wrote that, it would be logical. But let's take the opposite of that, and that's probably what will be in the movie. Another show that no one's really watching or cares about anymore, at least that I figure, is Gotham. Actor Alexander Siddig from Game of Thrones. He is been cast as Ra's al Ghul. I think this is like the 5th or 6th iteration of this character in the past 10 years we've had.
Well, yeah, and plus he was also on Arrow, so we'll just have to see. I don't know, man. Is anybody out there still watching Gotham? Let us know if you're still watching Gotham out there. I just want to know how compelling it is. You know, if it's holding up to maybe the other stuff you're watching.
You have so many hours in a week, and you still choose to actively watch Gotham. We got to know why. Like,
yeah, exactly.
What's going on with this show that makes it come back? Because, I mean, we know Liam Neeson was Ra's al Ghul in Batman Begins, and ultimately, I think he showed up in Dark Knight Rises. And then Arrow, and who knows? There might have been another version in there somewhere. But does he need to be in Gotham? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah, there we go. The other one of the other upcoming superhero shows, especially this will be on the CW now, is Black Lightning, and they've cast the daughters of the main character opposite Cress Williams as the main character. One is Nafisa Williams from the show Code Black, who plays Anissa, and China Ann McClain from the show House of Pain. I believe that's one of the. I don't know what that was.
I think that was maybe like a sitcom on like TBS or something. It seems like something. Maybe it was like one of Tyler Perry's shows.
Tyler Perry's House of Pain. There we go.
Yeah, that's what it was. But man, talk about a chunk of news that literally I could know so little about. Not only am I not familiar with Black Lightning, except for the couple Google searches I did back in the day when we talked about this being rumored as a TV show, but. I'm sure I'm not really going to recognize any of the actors being cast in it too, because unlike Inhumans, that's kind of more of this kind of bigger budget TV show, kind of pulling in some of these, you know, slightly bigger names for their show. Most of the time when you're casting a brand new TV show, especially something on the CW, you're not really going to recognize really any of the people mostly, you know, because, you know, it's the CW. They ain't got a lot of money to spend. They can't get a Game of Thrones person.
No, yeah, definitely not. I don't know much else about these people. We have descriptions of them in here. One's a teacher, and so I guess she's a little older, and the other one is becoming involved in a criminal gang. I don't know, whatever. Kid problems. I ain't got them. So the next thing is a trailer. We talked about at the beginning of the show, Alien Covenant. Got us a new trailer. Actually, Mike, I'm on board Alien Covenant with this Red Band trailer. And even the regular trailer. I thought it was entertaining. I mean, sure, it reeks of alien nostalgia. Everyone's looking over these creepy pods that open. Don't do that. You know better. Don't look into the pod. There's something's going to jump out and get you. But I kind of like it. I like this trailer. What do you think, Mike?
I have to say, it was kind of weird at the very end of the trailer. Kind of their biggest climax moment is when you kind of get to see the alien in broad daylight smashing its head against that cockpit of that ship, and then it also kind of looks up kind of like past the camera, possibly at a character. And it's just weird kind of seeing it in full daylight, just because aliens are kind of supposed to be scary, shrouded in darkness, and we see them pretty mobile, jumping around and moving, so it's kind of a weird thing you gotta get used to, but I own the Alien bundle pack on iTunes. I'm going to watch all of those movies, and I'm going to rewatch Prometheus, and heck, I might even watch that Alien vs. Predator movie, and I'm going to be an expert, and I'm going to watch this movie, and I'm going to report back, and I will be eloquent.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. It's just such a weird universe. I'm not really precious or partial to it because, I didn't grow up watching Alien and Aliens and then trying to stick with it for the other sequels. So, we're kind of on the outside looking in on this one,
Well, the Aliens franchise, to me, has taken more of an X-Men approach lately. We're going backwards to move forwards. There's sequels. There are bad ones that we have to ignore now. I don't know what's happening at the end of the day. I just know that Covenant looks to be... I like Prometheus, but this looks to be an improvement on Prometheus and closer to the Alien, and there's still one more movie after this. But I think the casting... Other than that lady from... I'll never forget her being in Fantastic Beasts, but everybody else looks fine. I think you're going to get your Danny McBride, Mike. And
yeah,
he's going to be getting in some alien fixins in that movie. So cross our fingers after that one. All
right, we'll do.
So we talked about this trailer. I didn't watch it. Pirates of the Caribbean, whatever the fuck this is titled, 5, has a new trailer come out this week. What did you think of this trailer, Mike?
Guy, can you tell we're not exactly excited for this movie? It's just this trailer gives us a little bit more look into the story of it's not okay. Is it or isn't it Benicio del Toro? I don't remember. I always get it wrong.
No, it's the guy from No Country for Old Men and Skyfall.
I get the two mixed up all the time, but anyway, we get more backstory on him. Apparently, he was a guy trying to kill all the pirates, and then he got cursed, going after young Jack Sparrow. So they're gonna cast a young Johnny Depp, basically, and he got turned into a monster, and now he's trying to kill Johnny. I don't know. It just seems like a really boring story. We don't need these movies anymore. Like the only pirates movie that really holds up, if anyone goes back and watches them, is the first one. Even the sequel and the third one, they're just not that good. Gave no credence or attention to the last one that was made either. The best part of this trailer is the little pop-up that says the beginning of the end or something. So I don't know if there's going to be more movies after this, but they're obviously starting to wrap it up. So they're not just going to have it like just floating off in the ether of, hey, maybe we'll make another one someday. But, I don't care about this movie. I think there's going to be like these weird zombie bone sharks or something. That might be kind of interesting, but they're not getting my $15 at the movie theater, that's for sure.
So I could have just clicked on this awesome poster link we have right below this to figure out his name, Mike. It's Javier Bardem as the evil bad guy.
They could really confuse me and just put those two guys in the same movie, and I would just think they're
a face-off sequel where
that'd be crazy.
They swap faces and they look the same. Oh man! But this poster gives so Jeffrey Rush is back for this. Like, is he part of this franchise now? I thought it was Johnny Depp's franchise. Why not just make a Jeffrey Rush franchise of it? I don't know. This poster reeks of the first movie. Reeks of the very first movie. Okay, because the two young actors look like Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, it seems like maybe they're trying to do like a soft reboot. I don't know. I just don't care about this franchise anymore.
It's just I don't get it. The ride sucks at Disney as well. I don't go. I don't even know. But another movie that's gonna knock Mike's socks off is the Bumblebee spinoff / sequel Transformers movie coming out.
God, I couldn't even believe it when I heard it earlier this week. It's just so dumb. I don't care. None of the Autobots in the Transformers movie are interesting enough on their own to be in a standalone movie. The only thing that kind of gives these movies anything to go off of is that they're kind of fun just because there's lots of stuff going on, even if you can't keep track of it. But I don't want to see a standalone Bumblebee movie. I don't care enough about that Camaro or Corvette or whatever it is. I think that's so stupid.
Can he talk yet? I've not heard him say too many words lately. Like,
I don't know.
If it's if it's a movie of radio/movie sound bites for his voice for the whole movie, like you're done. You're out of ideas. Get out.
I feel like at some point in time, Bumblebee got his voice back, maybe in that last 4-hour movie they made. But gosh, I don't even remember it, and I don't care. So I hope this movie does not come to fruition because it's dumb.
Well,
it's dumb.
Well, the announcement, we've announced this before, but I guess the thing I thought you'd at least be a little interested in is Travis Knight, who is responsible for Kubo and the Two Strings, as the director.
I mean, it doesn't really. It gives me like more sadness that he's doing this movie when he could be doing something else, maybe an original movie, or heck, if he wants to do a blockbuster, go do a superhero movie or something. Like Kubo and the Two Strings looked beautiful. I wasn't the biggest fan of the story. It didn't really shake me to my core or anything. But the stop motion movies by Laika always look beautiful. So obviously, a director can be part of making it look beautiful too. So, but yeah, I don't really care. I just don't want to see this movie. I hope it goes the way of Gambit and doesn't happen.
Well, now that you said that, it's going to come to fruition, Mike. You've done jinxed it. You've made it happen. I don't know what we're going to do with it. So, oh well. That's the last bit of our news for this week.
Wow. Way to take us out, making me mad.
Well, how about this? Why don't you, since we were stupid and forgot to plug this at the beginning of the show, tell us about our Instagram contest we're running.
Oh, yeah. Check us out at Superhero Slate Podcast on Instagram. And if you just comment on one of our last 2 photos, you'll know them when you see them. And just tag a friend in the comments. You'll have a chance to win, up to 14 Steam Star Wars game codes. So that contest is running through Monday. So Chris is going to reach out to the winners and send them all of these Star Wars game codes that he keeps getting. I don't know how you keep getting them, but you just always got free stuff to give away. So we're just trying to give out some free stuff.
That's right. I mean, I love giving out free stuff. I mean, especially like the worst part is that like they make these humble bundles, right? You familiar with the humble bundle system online?
I'm familiar.
Okay, well, this is the 3rd Star Wars one, and I figured by the 3rd one, at least add a new game. No, they were all duplicates of the last 2, so they got my money. And that train back there, he's had enough of it, too. He's like, tough. So, anyway, shut up, train. Anyway, Mike, if people want to know more about you, follow your webcomics, see what's going on in your world, where can they do that at?
Well, they can follow me at Mike Royer Design on Twitter and Instagram, and you can read my webcomics at pickledcomics.com. Chris, you are definitely the busier of the two of us for sure. You got a lot going on, especially with con season popping up. So if they want to keep up with what you're doing, where can they follow you?
You can find me everywhere because I have no idea where I'm going to be at any given second. But mostly on Twitter at Valdan, VALDAN. You can check me out there. I'll post stuff. And that's, we retweet our Instagram stuff there. So if you follow us on our Twitters, you'll find our Instagram posts as well to track that back for that contest. You can also find me on Comic UI, Film Side Chats, Pixel Brain Productions, the Destination Comic Book Store, Board Game Boss, which is a new product where my friend is creating that I'm helping them kind of get out there for all your board game needs. And sure, I got 30 other things I could talk about, but yeah, we're gonna. It's not about me. It's about superhero movies.
I'm just glad you're here for us.
Yes, every Sunday. By God, I wasn't gonna go back to that convention day. I had this show to do. By God, so we're not gonna miss it. So, as always, Mike, at the end of the show, you tell everyone where they can find us because this might be their first Superhero Slate episode. I hope it is. I hope you come back. I hope you go listen to the other 110 before this. To see how wrong we were sometimes. But where can they find us at, Mike? I'd let them know.
Well, as always, please visit superheroslate.com. That is the best place to find all the avenues that we host this show and to read our awesome show notes to see all those links for all the awesome stuff we talked about today. So you can find us on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Tumblr. You can subscribe and get us right in your email inbox, and you can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and follow us on Instagram. Lots of stuff to talk about there. And if you want to grab some Superhero Slate merch, you can head on over to our store at superheroslate.com/store. If you're a friend and fan of the show, please consider leaving us a review wherever you listen, watch the show. Drop us a comment, drop us a like, drop us a subscribe, whatever you do. I don't know what buttons they have attached to all these things now, but we really appreciate that. And if you're a super fan of the show, just share the show with a friend, share the show with a buddy, and we will be here every week, sometimes twice a week, because if you're subscribed to the podcast, you're about to see a Logan spoiler cast pop up in your feed. So stay tuned for that, and we will be here every week.
Yes, especially next week, I think. Yeah, we'll be here. Good. We're good. We're good, guys. Don't panic. We'll be here. So we'll see you then.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe.
You clicked it? I snicked it.